Have you ever found money between sofa cushions or let's say an old coat in the closet, you didn't wear since last winter or any part of the house and you felt like, golly, I just hit the jackpot? Well, what if I told you that your house is the jackpot for newfound money? Well, U.S. homeowners are now sitting on almost $17 trillion in equity on mortgage properties. And my next guest says Katie barred the door because don't look now, but the HELOC dam is opening. Joining me now, DFW housing and macroeconomic analyst Amy Nixon. Amy, I know that you think that you say that there are pros and cons to this, so give us both sides.
Okay, Charles, I'm always looking out for how things impact the middle-class American. And on the one hand, we have middle-class seniors for whom their home is their net worth. And the last thing I want to see is seniors forced to sell homes where they raise their families because they can't afford property tax increases, insurance increases. They're on fixed incomes. They are the group that is getting hammered the most by inflation right now. So a HELOC can be a lifeline for this cohort. On the other hand, this keeps prices elevated, which keeps the younger generations locked out of housing for longer. And I think the biggest negative is it is going to encourage speculators to take out money and buy more properties. And while that is capitalism, yes, that is only fair if the risk burden is borne by the entities that issue the loans and the people taking out the loans. Instead, with this move by Freddie, it's going to be on the back of American taxpayers, and I don't like that.
Yeah, especially with their track record. You know what you described as sort of the Gordian knot we exist in already. People have low mortgages. They're not going to sell a house that increase in value so they can buy a new house at a higher mortgage. We've already seen gobs of investors, particularly Wall Street and foreigners, buying up a lot of housing. And so these dynamics that you just described, sort of seem like they're in place. And how do you unravel it? How do you unravel the Gordian knot?
I don't know. This is like this huge dilemma. Housing has just been an incredible dilemma for the Fed. I actually don't think that monetary policy alone can solve this. And a large part of the reason is because this is not just an asset and an investment class. This is shelter. This is where people live. And it seems like right now, outside of building a lot more of supply, the trade-offs are we have to sort of boot people out of their homes to get open availability for younger people. Or, it's sort of like a no-win scenario. And that's why I think this has been such a hot topic and so frustrating for so many people.
Yeah, and ironically, a lot of people thought maybe the Fed could come to the rescue. As hot as everything's been, though, we're seeing bifurcation. This is something you tweet about and write about all the time. I mean, and I want to understand, how do we explain this huge surge in seriously underwater homes in many states?
Yeah, that data just came in, and it's an alarming headline. But the actual reality is the number is 2.7%, which is still below pre-pandemic levels, let alone anywhere near where we were at in 2007. But in certain states, it is high. And I think those are the states that were sort of pandemic hotspots. A lot of people were buying the top of the market. They paid really high prices in 2022. And those people are underwater. But with underwater mortgages, you have to remember that it's still okay if they can pay. So as long as they have a job and they can make the payment, they will be okay. The problem comes when, unfortunately, the labor data today doesn't help, but the problem comes when people lose their jobs and then they're unable to make those payments. And that's when you see sort of the walk away and turn in the key type behavior.
Yeah, and we've seen that in droves. Hey, I got 30 seconds, but I got to talk about the tweet that you've had pinned since October 16, 2022 reads, "The Airbnb bust is upon us." Well, guess what? The stock is getting shellacked today. What's going on, and why could this be a good thing for overall society?
These earnings actually were okay. The earnings were okay, Charles. They just keep going up, honestly, with their profits and their revenue. And a lot of that has to do with their business model, because what they're doing is they're sort of like an insurance company. They're investing the float. And because interest rates are so high, they are absolutely killing it in this high interest rate environment with interest income as part of their profits. But for society, it's not great because it's taken so many homes off the market, and it's actually put all of the risk in that company is on the backs of individual operators. And there's a lot of them that unfortunately may be in that underwater mortgage category that sort of FOMO'd into the top, didn't understand the business, and those kind of folks are going to be in trouble. So I think those homes might be hitting the market soon, but in terms of the tech company itself, man, they have positioned themselves very well. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I'm bearish on their stock necessarily, but in terms of individual operators, I think there's a lot that may find themselves in some trouble as long as mortgage rates stay high.
Yeah, you've definitely been critical. And not only that, though, a lot of states have kind of joined behind you saying, hey, you take too many homes off the market, you artificially increase the prices of some, people can't get the American dream. So I'm not sure where I fit in on that in terms of a free market and capitalism, but it's certainly a great discussion. I'm glad you always have brought that up. Amy, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.